Darkness falls across the land. The mail for an hour is close at hand. The foulest stench is in the air. 3 sweaty men sitting in chairs. And though you wish to look away, no mere mortal can resist the evil of the take.
Did you write that out beforehand, or was that all off the cuff?
We'll say it was off the cuff.
Nice. Do you think we'll get trademark? You know, do you think Michael Jackson's estate will come after us?
I'm more worried about James Cameron, to be honest.
I'm not Avatar.
What are you?
Well, let's all go around and say our costumes. So let's start with Horatiu here.
Well, clearly, I am Kit Harington as Jon Snow, so hello, everybody.
I started a new band called Fetus Kicker. I'm just in my stage makeup. I'm still the same guy.
And I'm Tim the Toolman Allen.
I thought his last name was Taylor. Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Oh, well, I never watched that show, so I'm what you call a fair weather fan.
Sure.
So we're here for the Halloween special, as you can tell from our set. Guys, do you have any Halloween traditions?
You know, just your basic vandalism, committing some violent pranks, you know, terrifying small children into where they'll never come around outside again.
I think
you know,
he
the normal
means
stuff.
movie-related traditions, because we are a movie review show.
You know, I watched Creepshow a couple times. Some torture porn, not like Saw or anything, but porn with torture in it. So there's that.
I just watch a scary movie. I try to watch as many as I can. You know, catch whatever's on TV, you know, all that good stuff. But what about you, Dan? What is your Halloween tradition?
Every year I like to sit down and watch the Takes theme song. Woo! Welcome back to The Take. So guys, did you guys know, I don't know if you read anymore, I don't know if you can read, but it is the #1 movie in the world, right?
Wow.
So that's pretty rare, you know, that an R-rated horror film, no less, is
Well,
the #1.
Is that horror? Horror or horror? Horror.
But, yeah, what do you think it is about just... I did not anticipate so much excitement for this movie. You know, like it broke records on YouTube for like the most views in 24 hours. It was like 197 million. There's this whole creepy clown cultural zeitgeist going on. What is the cause of this?
I feel that it is the pinnacle of millennial nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's 80s nostalgia.
No, this came out in 91, the original, not this one, but the original came out in 91, and I remember growing up, since Horatiu and I are both children of the early 90s.
Only 90s kids will get this.
I think because a lot of 90s kids like freaked out about this movie. I remember being so scared of it when I was little. I tried watching it, but never got through like more than 10 minutes.
Really? I think I watched it too late in life, the miniseries, and I was just
I tried it.
so
I
bored.
tried rewatching the
There are
miniseries,
some good
and
gems in
it
there,
didn't
but-
scare me. I just stopped because it was horrible.
Well, I think that this is what people are so enthralled by it now is simply because the book is so, you know, such a titanic and such a really good horror movie that, horror book that most of these people who are going to see it, they remember reading the book as well as remember watching the series in the 90s, and then, you know, they're just super excited for Stephen King to be on the big screen again.
I hate to break it to you, buddy, but I don't think a lot of people read 1,000 pages about a creepy clown. I think that that's more like your people.
I had to read it just to see how you could write 1,000 pages about a creepy clown, and I was impressed. It's a bloated book, but
It's definitely bloated, but I still think people love that book, and that's why they went to see this.
well, before we throw it a clip, I actually have a present for you guys.
It's not the Christmas special, Dan.
Well, you know, I'm just a good guy. I like to film myself giving presents on camera.
Sure.
So it helps my image. Got you some root beer. Don't worry, I'm gonna keep the I saw your face tense up. I'm not opening it.
Okay.
We'll have this later, but can anyone guess why I brought root beer to the set?
No, I can't guess why you didn't. Oh, is it because you're always bringing alcohol to our set?
No, it's because root beer floats.
Clap!
What happened?
TTT. Boys, let's give you 15 seconds to give your initial impressions, and let's make it really like deep, these insights into the film, like stuff that you would want engraved on your tombstone.
Horatiu, go!
I did think the movie was good. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I didn't think it's the best horror movie that of all time that everyone seems to think. It's a cool take on Stephen King's It, but I think it could have been better.
Time!
I liked it a lot. I never saw the original, never saw the book all the way through. I enjoyed this movie. It wasn't too scary. It's definitely more of an 80s coming adventure movie, and I enjoyed that a lot.
Oh, so it is an 80s movie.
It had the
I thought it
80s
was 90s.
feel.
I thought this was a 90s.
We'll get
kids
into it.
movie.
We will get into this.
So Horatiu, you mentioned that you're not a fan of how it deviates from the book, but I was actually surprised by how closely it followed the book. And I think I read online that Cary Fukunaga, who was originally supposed to direct this, his script was much more different from the book, and
Sure.
the director brought a lot of things back. So, you're a self-described purist.
Well, it's just more so for the fact, because I know, I mean, it's a huge book. You can't include everything, and there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of
locations.
right, and there's a lot of
the
fluff,
wellhouse.
and there's a lot of stuff that can be taken out, and I'm glad they did take some of the stuff. But the simple things, like for example, the things that the kids feared, you know, the things that Pennywise became to scare each kid. It just seemed, why did you have to change that? You know, they changed Mike Hanlon from the big giant bird that chases him in the field by the Dairy Iron Works to the burning of the Black Spot, which is, you know, a homage to the book, but I just think, what was the point of changing that? I mean, if they're kids, they're more scared for.
But does the director have an obligation to follow the book? Like, I think, like, you know, like, that's the whole purpose of adaptation, is to put it through your own lens. Like, Stephen King famously hates Stanley Kubrick's The
I
Shining.
was just about to say,
Yes.
of course you take the director's side on
But
this.
I think, you know, I love the book and I love the movie, and I think, you know, he did an interesting little twist on it, you know? And
Yeah.
That's what makes.
I'm gonna put it to you this way. Like when you do a kind of a loose adaptation, you get things like Return of the King. And when you do too literal of an adaptation, you get The Hobbit Part 3.
Well, that's not true because they added a lot extra stuff to The Hobbit to make
I was
it
actually
3
gonna use,
movies.
yeah, Lord of the Rings as an example where the text is considered sacred and you do kind of have an obligation to fulfill that source material. With it, I think you have a little more leeway.
I agree. I mean, I don't think that it's a sacred text that somebody should follow to a T when they're directing it, but just things that seem to be changed for no reason. You know, for example, spoiler alert, the end has no similarities to me to anything that happens in the book with the kids in their.
That is something I was a little disappointed with. This, and I also watched The Dark Tower this week in preparation for this, and like The Dark Tower, they shouldn't have even called it that because all they used were the characters' names pretty much, and that's an instance where I will be a bit of a purist.
Right.
But, like The Dark Tower, or the first book in The Dark Tower ends with a psychic battle where the man in black shows the gunslinger like the enormity of the universe to deter him from wanting to go on his quest. And like that's like such a cool concept, but like of course in the movie they just turn it into a psychic battle. They're throwing rocks at each other, and it was kind of similar with this. It was just fisticuffs with the clown.
Yeah, but I'm glad they didn't do the celestial, like, let's check out the turtle that throws up galaxies and stuff, because that's like way more than what can be shown in the movie. There's a lot. We'll talk about it later. Let's go take a quick edit break so that we can explain to Matt about the turtle.
I'll just wait
We'll
for
be
the
right back.
second movie. There's gonna be another one.
They do plant subliminal turtle imagery, so maybe the turtle will make an appearance.
I don't think so. I think the director has specifically even said we're not going to include the
You're not
turtle.
gonna go
It's
turtles all
just
the way
too
down?
much.
I know about like the turtle theory and all that.
Is this like the bird theory?
No, it's like flat earthers. They say that the world is on the back of a turtle, and when someone asks what's below the turtle, someone says another turtle, and eventually it's turtles all the way down.
That's not anything what it is.
It's just a space turtle that pukes
Yeah,
up galaxies.
like I said, let's take a quick edit break to explain to
If it's a
Matt.
space
Okay,
turtle that
so
pukes up
We'll
galaxies,
be right
I
back.
get it.
Stop talking.
I don't know. I like bird theory better.
So was this movie actually scary to you guys at any point?
Nope.
No.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
at
think
all.
so. Like I think, like most modern horror, I think modern horror is in a very sad state right now, where every scare is a jump.
That
It's
scared me.
effective,
That
but
got me.
ultimately, you know, like the sound design. Like I rewatched The Shining, and just what's really creepy about The Shining is that the sound design does not match what you're seeing on screen at all.
Mm-hmm.
There are moments where it's silent. There are no like the jump scares, like where the twins are in the hallway. That's just played like silent, you know.
Yeah.
That's what makes it like it's off-putting because what your eyes seeing aren't matching what you're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, it's kind of obvious.
Loud noises, clank.
Yeah, when I went to see it, I went to see it with my girlfriend Liz, and I was like, I'm gonna be really scared. I hate scary movies in theaters because I do. I don't like watching them in theaters from not the comfort of my own home. And then we left, and I was like, wow, I shouldn't have been worried literally at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's more an adventure movie than a horror movie. But
Sure.
Yeah. Why'd you have to cut me off if that was all you're gonna add?
because I like to be the wild card.
I think we should continue this wild card discussion after this commercial.
So that was an illustration of when you try to act creepy, a lot of times it does not work, and it just comes off as looking really stupid. And that's why I liked Billy Skarsgård's portrayal of the clown It in this film. We're not doing that again. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, he was.
I think he took a risk with this performance. He wasn't afraid to look stupid.
I liked the wonky eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And that apparently is not CG. He can actually do that.
I mean, I can do that too. It's not like super hard.
Do it.
I am doing it.
Oh, okay, nice.
So I mean, you can do it. It's not hard, but I liked it with the yellow eye. That was cool.
Yeah.
I thought he really did a good job of portraying Pennywise, and it was creepy, and every like thing that he did was really scary, or not scary, but like makes you feel a little like ugh. But I'm still on this. I can't believe it's just a clown, you know.
You know, I think there's definitely something to be said for subtlety, and this movie does not understand that.
No.
Like, Tim Curry is the best part of the miniseries. Like, his performance still holds up, I think, in a lot of ways. But yeah, just I'm glad that if they weren't going to go for subtlety, then they just went the opposite direction with it and just went as gonzo as possible.
Yeah, no, bozo as possible.
But I think in this era of Annabelle sequels and prequels and paranormal activities and conjurings and PG-13 horror, you kind of have to go full Bergalian with when you get the R license. Because you got to separate yourself from all the, I hate to say it,
I
but
think maybe that is why this movie did so well, is because, you know, this 2017, George Romero died, Tobe Hooper died. Who's the third horror director?
title card here.
Okay, there you go, thank you. And these classic horror movie directors that really like define the genre, like they're all dying and no one's really there to replace them, you know? Like you got James Wan, you got Eli Roth, and like they don't hold up, you know?
They do not hold up. I think the only thing Eli Roth has done that was like decent was Hostel.
Yeah,
That was like what, 2004?
So this was kind of like a breath of fresh air.
Nice. Didn't know you were dressed up as Sean Connery today.
I think Tim Taylor talks like that.
Sure, that's not true at all. I had a problem the movie itself, I had issue with just the pacing of the movie. I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but I thought the pacing was not good enough.
It's definitely bloated, just like the book.
Yeah, but it's bloated, but it doesn't follow a good, I think, timeline. Like, they have that sequence of events where it just shows every kid's fear, one after the other, and it's not tied together anyway. It's literally just, here's, they do tie it together in a very simple and not good way, but it's just like, here's what this person's scared of, here's what this person's scared of, here's what this person's scared of.
That's kind of the rhythm that the book falls into.
But that's false, because the rhythm of the book is different. The rhythm of the book, and that's why I think this was not as good of a movie as the miniseries, even though it's better in effects and acting and all that good stuff, except for Pennywise. But like, that one was a flashback centered sequence, a flashback centered timeline, and this one, when you're just introduced to the kids and just, show what they're scared of and all that good stuff, it doesn't hold the same gravitas as the way that the book is centered. And every single time, in the book, they're discovering their fears again. They're remembering, oh yeah, I was afraid of a mummy and I was on this bridge and that thing portrayed a mummy and tried to get me. And I think that the film is robbed of that kind of importance and that kind of it's built in right there. Why would you mess with the way that it's portrayed?
As someone who has no idea what the original miniseries or the book is like, I didn't mind the pacing. I thought it was fine. I didn't get until the end that he was portraying what they're kind of afraid of, and I kind of liked that reveal towards the end, as opposed to knowing everything going into it. There was really a lot of I get to explore this kind of at my own pace. I didn't have any preconceptions of what was supposed to happen. I was pleasantly surprised by this movie.
I mean, I think despite the fact that it's overly long, I do enjoy spending time with these characters. I think the child actors they cast were pretty good.
Honestly, it didn't even feel that long. The theater I was in made it feel like it was forever, but that was more of the theater. As soon as the movie got started, I was fine.
Oh yeah, do you want to talk about your theater going experience?
We can.
Keep it under 2
I'm
minutes.
just gonna say, hey, AMC Theaters, your location at Great Lakes Crossing in Auburn Hills, Michigan, is the worst theater I've ever been to. I've been to dollar theaters in the 90s that were upkept better than your theater. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Throwing lots of shade at AMC.
I've had a lot of bad theater going experiences this year, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to just stay home and watch TV.
Maybe it's not so much the theater experience, maybe it's the theater goer.
Maybe it's what we've been given to go see at the theaters.
I've had exit lights come on halfway through a film. I've had people talking, people texting, assigned seating where I'm the only one in the theater and someone comes down and sits next to me. It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare, kind of like,
that's
what Pennywise
it would turn
induces.
into if it was my fear.
Just
It'd be like an empty movie theater with the guy
He sits
sitting.
down.
Yeah.
400
And then
pounds,
texts the
sweaty,
whole
smiling
time.
man.
Doesn't even try to eat or anything. Just text the whole time.
Yeah.
Asks you questions about the plot.
Yeah.
You've seen the movie before.
Yeah, I did something I never thought I would do again. I went to the midnight screening of this movie because the last time I did that was Avengers, and people are just so obnoxious, just yelling at the screen.
I mean,
And people encourage it too.
You are face painted blue, so I think that might be the definition of obnoxious.
I don't know. I went to a 7:30 Thursday night preview, and it was fine.
I might be painted blue now, but with movie magic, I'm green. That'll be a post joke.
That was horrible.
So I think the reason this movie got green-lighted, it's no secret, it's because of Stranger Things. It's so popular now, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the Duffer Brothers originally wanted to make the It movie. They didn't have enough notoriety, so they went and made Stranger Things, which essentially ripped off everything.
Yeah.
So does it hurt the movie that this all feels so familiar that they literally poached talent from the show?
Yes and no. I think it does, but it doesn't. So people are just gonna watch it now and be like, this is literally just Stranger Things with a killer clown instead of a killer alien monster from another dimension, which actually that's what he is too. But no, not Matt. Not Matt. Pennywise. Pennywise is a killer thing from a different dimension, but maybe Matt too. But also, I think people are just really into Stranger Things, and I think they saw that and were like, yeah, this is going to be a good time, and that's probably why it blew up a lot with the box office, too, or one of the reasons.
Yeah, I really don't like Stranger Things. I think it feels like really inauthentic, just pandering.
I thought
shoving in
it was
references.
fine. It could have just, but it did need another season. I feel like it was one of those things that could have been a one-off.
It should have been an anthology series.
Yeah.
But that's another discussion.
For another time.
I'm glad that it is finally getting the props it deserves for inventing all the stuff that Stranger Things has stolen, and the Duffers are being hailed as these visionaries. God.
I mean, what was a direct ripoff? What are you talking about?
What's the ripoff?
Yeah, just kids?
It's just
I'm
everything.
sorry, I didn't think he had that Stephen King had a trademark on kids.
He kind of does. Him and Steven Spielberg, they can write kids like no one else.
Well, I think everybody should be able to try, and I don't think it's very nice of you to call out the Duffer Brothers for trying something.
You know what? If I had time, I would make a supercut right now of all the things that Stranger Things has stolen, including movies from last year.
Can you do it really fast?
All right. I guess. Just for you.
Thanks.
And understanding society by revealing intimate truths.
Well, with that, commercial is coming.
Oh, God. Terrible.
What's happening, OU? I'm Jake Klotz, and welcome to another episode of Out and About.
Hello, and welcome to Veterans History Project. I'm your host, Sarah.
Welcome back to another episode of Focus on Faculty. I'm your host, Anna Robb.
What up? It's your boy, Dan Gordon. I'm here on the set of The Take.
Welcome to another episode of Visiting Professionals. I'm your host, Austin Sleba.
Hey, OU. I'm your host, Brianna.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Explore OU.
Welcome back to The Take. So before we go to ratings, I just want to ask, what was your guys' first experience with Stephen King? Have you read a lot of his novels?
Yeah, I've read a lot of his novels. I've read many, not all because it's impossible, but
Yeah.
It,
I'm not even
Cujo,
halfway through.
The Shining, Pet Cemetery. I've read some of the big
Classics,
tentpoles.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't remember what my first, it was probably some kind of TV miniseries that he did, like Rose Red or some crazy stuff like that, but The Perfect Storm or whatever. Not Perfect Storm.
I haven't read any of his books. I've only seen the movies, and unfortunately, a lot of his movies are pretty bad.
Yeah. Would you say this is top 5?
I'd say this is definitely top 5. Pet Cemetery is still my number 1,
Oh, yeah.
but this is up there.
What about you, Dan? What was your
I
first?
discovered him on my adolescence, as I'm sure many young lads do. And yeah, he just, I think he's great. I think, when I took a lot of English literature classes and everyone was like, oh, my favorite authors, Charles Dickens, James Joyce, I was never embarrassed to say Stephen King, because I don't think he'll be remembered for multi-dimensional characters or, deep themes or anything, but he's had so many great ideas.
He writes a goddamn good book, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of my favorite authors.
For sure. So with that, what are you guys going to give it out of 5? Oh, whatevers.
I'm going to give it 4 kids with bad haircuts stabbing their dads in the necks out of 5 kids with bad haircuts stabbing their dads in the necks.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Pennywise holding a balloon. I'm gonna go the easy route. Out of 5, Pennywise holding a balloon. It was good. I wish it was better.
Somewhere between a 4 and a 4.5 for me.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, think
I'll do 4.
0.25?
4 lepers, and I'll give it a gold star. For
4 lepers and a gold star.
Yes.
That's a pretty good review.
I feel like that's more than 5.
That's a 4.25, we'll say.
Got it.
It's like a sticker. Gold
Got
star
it.
sticker.
Right, thank you. Appreciate that.
So, you guys want to have some Halloween cookies?
Kind of. I'm hungry.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. But I have a challenge. The ghosts are for Matt, the pumpkins are for Horatio.
Okay, all right.
Let's take a look at them. And if you guys finish them by the end of the show, if you finish your half,
You guys definitely should have
then
done
you
this
will get
earlier.
a prize of $20 value.
Wait, I thought the pump. Why are you
Pay for
doing
your
this?
diabetes meds.
Yeah, I was about to say, are there laxatives in here?
Wait, Matt, just help. Okay, whatever. You guys, you figure it out.
Wait, are pumpkins for me or are pumpkins for Matt?
I get
Pumpkins-
the ghost because I'm.
Whatever side is closer to you is for you now.
How fast do we have to eat these?
We got like 10 minutes left, so start munching.
All right, right.
Should we do a special rendition of the Mail Friend song?
I'm eating right now.
There's not that many Halloween songs, so
Woo! We got 4.
We got 4.
4 male ferns.
Frank, come on, these aren't for you.
Bat McCormick,
All right, me.
Horatio.
Horatiu.
Dead Eyes Dan Goblin. And we got an all dead. And I'm assuming is the all play of this Halloween special.
Worst Halloween memory from The Body in My Trunk. When I was like 8 years old, I dressed up as Frankenstein and had a party in my uncle's backyard. And they dressed up as the werewolf, and I thought it was real, and I was crying, and there's home video of it, and I'll put it in right now.
I'm so excited to see this home video. of you
Like
crying.
4 years ago, I was way too drunk at a party, and I was trying to hook up with a girl, and then I puked on her.
I'm not going to answer that.
Here's a good meme. What could Pennywise say or offer to you to get down into the sewers? From Georgie. Legal weed. If he was like, hey, I got that bill down here. I just need your signature. I'd be like, for sure.
Can you pick something else?
What?
For the OUTV cut?
Oh, strippers and blow.
I guess that's better. My zombified father asks, why is your name so stupid? You picked it. Dad. And, real question, Stephen King's best adapted story. You know what? My dad doesn't even know who Stephen King is, so this is bullshit. And he's alive, so. But also, I would say The Shining. It's obviously not the best adapted when it comes to the story, but that's my favorite Stephen King movie. And second, if you guys have ever seen it, Storm of the Century. It's a miniseries that's on TV. Real good.
All right, I got an all play.
Okay, I'll read this. All play, because he's chewing.
I couldn't
All right. So, from Marnie Piper, St. Helen, Oregon. Oh, wow. Marnie, thank you. What is your biggest fear? Well, I'd say my biggest fear is spiders, women, and spider women.
Time on police.
He's been giving his away, by the way.
I don't know what you're talking
Let's see,
about.
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, gee. You know what? Horatio won, but
He was giving his away. He doesn't win. You can go back on footage. You toss one to Sarah, toss one to Noah.
controversy
talking
going
about.
on. What? By show of hands, live studio audience.
I have a real sword. This will kill you if you don't give me the right.
Maybe we should split. This is split the prize. Oh, live studio audience. Let's get a verdict. Who won the challenge? Matt. Let's make some noise for Matt.
Horatiu.
God damn it! It's split.
Brian's the tiebreaker.
Producer Brian, I will kill you if you don't pick me.
Who's actually been eating the cookie?
Say it! Damn you!
Horatiu. God! God!
Horatiu.
Are you proposing? I'm already married. Remember, you were my best man.
These are free passes to the Maple Theater.
Fantastic.
I got those for,
Wrap it up, hurry up.
Alright, who cares where I got them? The end!
I'm
Cut my
taking.
life into pieces!
Wait,
This
hold
is
on.
my last resort!
Let's just go get 3 more cards.
Suffocation!